Hi, welcome to this REST request tutorial on working with system default settings. Let's have a look where that takes place. Administration, Setup, Defaults. In the defaults we have 5 different areas that we can store system options so that the system performs in your preferred manner in that specific setting. Let's have a look at that happens under the Financials tab now. Click on Financials. The first of these optional settings is the exchange rate. Here we can look and see expiry date, the default expiry date of any exchange rate. This is similar to the provisional expiry date. After 14 days, the exchange rate that has been set in and applied, 14 days after being applied, it will expire. Now we can also save our daily exchange rates that we enter into the system, and we can allow updates to those by checking this box and show the most recent rate if the current day has not yet been captured. In addition, one can also nominate a specific environment to manage the exchange rates, or we could let each environment manage their own by choosing one of these settings. In this case, we've nominated an environment, and that is the web environment selected, SA. Right, let's move further down. A rate used when the itinerary overlaps different rate periods. Here we have 2 optional settings. Use the first day's rate or split the item per period. Splitting the item per period will allow for 2 itinerary lines where different rate types will be applied to those itinerary lines. Default rate type for internal users. Now, internal users can work with all rate types, but as a default rate type, the availability calendar will be set to display the RAC USD. Default payment plan. Here again, we can choose which of the payment plans in the system will be the default payment plan, simply by clicking on the drop down and choosing the relevant plan you want as a default. An invoice date can be one of 2, and here we can set that to either arrival or departure date. Bear in mind that in the case of revenue reports, unless we have a per day split option, the revenue will be added to the month which the departure date is in, or if you set it to arrival date, the revenue will then reflect in that month of arrival based on your setting here. Allow future dated invoices. This is an optional setting, yes or no. Enabling the no charge per stay component. These 2 last items are linked, and we'll discuss them now in detail. Normally when you set up rates, your rates are made up out of components, and those components are charged either per night or per stay. Normally per stay components are charged only once per itinerary item. However, a stay could be over multiple itineraries, or in a case of different room configurations being required, this could result in the stay component being charged multiple times instead of only once. To prevent this, one can add a no charge per stay component as an optional component in the rate setup. In this case, the default settings then facilitate the above process. If we enable the no charge per stay component here as yes, then that component can be selected. Only if this component is then set to yes can the last optional setting be applied. If this is now set to yes, the system auto applies the special component to any itinerary items that share a common accommodation type with the first item. We hope you found this third tutorial about financial system default settings useful.